Hi everyone, I'm here today to review The Fourth Monkey by J.D. Barker, and I received this book from the publisher via NetGalley in return for an honest review, and I gave it 4 stars. And this is the first time I've actually been torn on what to rate a book in a while. At first I popped in 5 stars, and I never normally ever change my rating for reviews. But a little bit later on I thought, actually no, it's not quite a 5 stars, and I changed it to 4 stars, and that is, as I said, something that I very, very rarely do. So this is a psychological thriller that will just send you on an absolute roller coaster ride. The story follows a detective named Sam Porter, and he has been, for several years now, trying to catch this prolific serial killer named the Four Monkey Killer. And this guy has got such obvious MOs. He kidnaps someone, he chops off their ears and their tongues and takes out their eyeballs, but all in stages, and sends these little cute packages of these body parts to the police. So when they get a call that a guy has been found with one of these boxes in the street and dead, they think, oh my god, we might actually have caught him. So they go to this crime scene because the guy has basically committed suicide by walking out in front of a bus. And they're all a bit like, why would the killer walk out in front of a bus and kill himself when he's still got someone somewhere that he is currently working on, as they found that he's got an ear with him. So that is the first stage of the kidnapping for a new person. And so it's a race against time to try and find this victim before she runs out of water and food, and to also just try and work out all the different levels of this mystery, because obviously not everything is adding up correct right now, because why would the killer kill himself? So yeah, it's a massive mystery, it's so interesting. But thrown onto that, you've also got these diary entries. So they find on the Four Monkey Killer, they find a diary of his childhood, and so the detective Sam Porter is working his way through reading this diary throughout this novel. So you get a chapter of the diary, a chapter of him investigating, diary, investigating, so on. And to begin with, I was definitely more invested in the investigation than I was the diary entries, but all of a sudden there is a turning point. And this turning point made me really gripped at the diary entries, and from then on I was equally invested in both, and I loved just how clever this book was. It was a really, really clever psychological thriller, but also really disgusting and gruesome. And you'd expect this sort of book to potentially be like that. So if you don't do gore, I'm talking about body parts being chopped off, I'm talking about rats chewing flesh, I'm talking about people being killed in gruesome ways. If you can't handle that, you don't want to read this. But if you think you can, then oh my goodness, you absolutely need to give this book a go. I adored the journey that I went on. And as I mentioned, I was a little bit torn with the whole rating of this book. And I think that's because I absolutely loved this book. It was fast-paced, the writing was fantastic, the characters were fantastic. I was fully engrossed and invested in every single way, yet for some reason I didn't feel like this was wowing me and blowing me away. I felt like there was just this special something, and sometimes you know what that something is, and you'd be like, I love this book, but this could have been done better. But I'm not sure what that something was in this book. It was missing a special something. I just can't work out what the special something was. I lacked a little bit of connection there somewhere with something, which made this a 4-star read rather than a 5-star read. But yeah, that's all I want to go into in this review, because as I said, it's a psychological thriller. I don't want to give anything away. I don't want to accidentally let even the slightest thing slip, because you need to discover this book for yourself in its full glory. So thank you so much for watching this review. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe by clicking the image of me just so if you want to see more book reviews and other bookish content from me. And I will see you tomorrow with my top 10 favourite reads of 2017. Bye bye!